Okay, so we are back. So basically, what we are going to do is to being able to invoke shell commands from OpenCode app, being from this OpenCode Desktop. So the idea is that if you take a look at the here, you've got the revert button, you've got the copy button, and we're going to have the fork button here. But down here, you have build and plan, this and that, and the fold. And what we are going to do is to add the shell button. So you've got build, plan, and shell. Because if you take a look at OpenCode, you can change the mode to shell mode so that you can run yourself. So persistent shell mode, like that. So shell mode, hide tool details. If you take a look at the here, you can see how we've got the shell mode and you can run commands. And bash lacta completion for shell mode. Yeah, so the idea of shell mode is that you can run commands yourself. Persistent shell mode, keep shell session alive for after executing commands. Look at that. This is an interesting idea. I would recommend keeping the exclamation mark behavior and only use double exclamation mark behavior for entering this mode. To stay organized, 90 days of inactivity. Yeah, I mean, actually what happens with shell mode in here is that it's going to be persistent, because that's how this works. So let's open a new session in here, and if I'm not mistaken, right now I'm in a shell mode stuff branch. Fold branches, this one, feature desktop shell mode version 1. So I would like to improve the desktop app so that in addition to build mode and plan mode, there's the shell mode. This is a third mode that apparently is available to the TUI interface, but not to the desktop. Let's see what happens. I think that the first comment always plans instead of thinking stuff. Let's put this bigger. I see app packages. I mean, I could have reused the okay. Let's start from scratch and let's hope this is doing the stuff. Doubts about OpenCode? Well, maybe I know how to resolve them or not. Just ask. Okay. So this is going to keep, by the way, what I have done with the rest of, okay, here it is. Maybe I can open a, do I have a hello world something? Wait. Okay, now I have the old behavior. Yeah, let's open the hello world, new session. I would like to ask about this thing. I would like to have a simple virtual avatar that replies to a make input. This should work in Debian New Linux. Are there any programs that already do that? Okay, let me see what the hell does this thing do, and in the meantime we will see P07 what's going on. Oh, look at that, implemented. So probably it has done something. Yes, but Debian New Linux through all-in-one make in AI reply animated avatar apps are still pretty limited. The most practical existing options are Silly Tavern. Web UI runs on Debian, speech plugins, avatar extension. You can do make input, LLM reply, TTS voice output, Open Voice Micro, Linux native body system platforms, VR chat. Okay, so I don't want the voice coming from the avatar. Just an avatar that moves thanks to my voice voice make filter the list to that. Okay, perfect. BTube Studio, what the hell? Most polished 2D avatar animation, my ecosystem, PNG Tower. Swap image, animate, we make is active volume changes. Quick setup, low CPU, less advanced face tracking for VTuber apps. Okay, we will check this out later on. Let's go to P07. I added shell as a first class option in the desktop prompt mode selector. So now let's read this thing. So implemented. I added shell as a first class option in the desktop prompt mode selector, so it now sits alongside the existing agent modes, the ones you see as build plan, etc., instead of being only key-binned command palette driven. Updated packages app src components prompt input.tsx to add dedicated selector option for shell mode. The selector now shows shell as an option, reflects shell as the current selection when active,
Switches into shell mode when selected. Selecting any normal agent when currently in shell mode, exits shell mode first, then sets that agent. This is what it has been changed. I couldn't run type check because ban is available. Natural next step. Ban type check to package app to locally validate. Um, okay. Okay. Let me double check. So apparently it says package app. You could run in here ban type check. Let's see what it says. Is it everything? Is it okay? Yes, it is. And what about running this thing? I'm not in the right place. What about running this thing? Hopefully we can see the shell thing. Let's see how the development of OpenCode is running. So hello world, let me see, build plant shell. Wonder if someone has had some mascot memory for so I did this, but I don't think so. So new session. Again, we have lost the session, not sure why. If this is something from my point of view or not. So explore. What do you want to explore? Explore this project. Summarize it again. I should have selected plan here instead of build. Yeah. Okay, so now we have this. We don't have the fork to new session stuff. But now I'm going to say something like shell hit status in the shell. Shouldn't I see this thing like that's a very quick question. This should be open app, isn't it? Why wouldn't you want to see what was the output of your own command? So now I can ask, what was the result of the latest git status command I have just run? In the, well, let's just plan. And this should, look at that. Faddle, this and that. It, in English, git says the current directory and its parent up to home. So this has been put into the, into the thing. The question is, let's look at that. So hit the status. It's going to show the comment, and if you do that in the hit the status returned, yeah, I think that the usual behavior for the shell mode, which shell agent. Let me double check. I think I have seen something regarding OpenCode shell agent. Yeah, I think it's middledev, the one that has this thing explained properly. So let me double check. Here it is, so that I can take a look at how this looks like. And so, when you go to middledev, you always have these education ads. So yeah, let's take a look. So he explains. Let's see how this works. So he's going to use shell. Okay, you are into shell mode. And this is expanded. So I think this is expanded by default. I don't think this is a I don't think this being expanded is a a video edit, or is it something that it has like everything expanded? Because if you take a look at other stuff that it's been done in its where the hell is this? We should see the hit shell stuff. Okay, we should see some shell comments. Why I am not seeing any of this, we should see the shell stuff in here. Oh my god, again! We should see the shell stuff here and there. Okay, what about this thing here? Oh my god! Again, another ad. It's interesting how we don't see any shell stuff, so it's just creating some files and so on. Anyways, let's do like that. So now we don't have any change, so I'm going to tell this thing to commit the changes. Commit your changes. Yeah. Fix app, which is not app, it's desktop. Expose shell in desktop. It's not a fix. We will have So this is not a fix, but a feature, and it's not about app, but about desktop. Please amend hit the commit message. So the thing is that, I mean, what I haven't checked in here is what happens. Oh, wait a minute. Where do they have this thing in here? Hit the status. Why the hell is this shown collapsed? This doesn't make sense to me. So we have a second thing to improve in here, which is so apparently shell mode already exists if you use this thing. But again, the shell whatever invoked manually is automatically collapsed, similar to when the AI agent runs shell themselves. We should probably want to see what the command actually does, what the shell actually does. Yeah, so uncollapsed, and this is shell mode. So another thing is that hit the status, we're back to plan. So we are in build. Hello, it's going to fail. And we are back to build. So hello, OpenCode. Hello, not. Oh, look at that. So apparently it's OpenCode, the one that runs the shell. It's not like you know, it's not like a bash or something. So we have this problem about this being collapsed, and if you use the other thing, it's not going to work. Enter shell command. Okay, yeah, it's exactly the same thing. So hello 2 is not going to work either. Yeah, let me try. Let me see. How the hell would we do this thing so that it works as expected? Do we want to uncollapse this thing right now? Added this new node. But I don't want to do this, even if, you know, it's, wait a minute, cancel. One second. So each time we use the shell mode, it I mean, it makes sense to hide it in the TUI, Okay, let's create an issue, and yeah, because otherwise I'm not sure. Create a GitHub issue in inline markdown for OpenCode that it starts the sign conversation around having a new explicit shell mode in the desktop app. You should be mentioning that you attach that you have an image that shows how this would look like. Also, the fact that by also mention the fact that the shell is being shown collapsed if this has invoked manually as a developer. You would like to know what has happened to the command, to the manually run command. Also mention that the old behavior that invokes shell mode by using has not been altered. So this should be plan, and let's do it. I mean, yeah, this should be a plan. Can I copy this thing? Now we go to this P07 OpenCode. Yeah, I'm going to issue.txt. Okay, let's build it. Save it just below the OpenCode directory. Find it a name similar to the already existing file. And that way we don't have to even write it. It just dumps everything into there, and we are good to go. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's. Do you want to copy and paste, or do you want AI to do it for you? So now shell mode issue. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, let's. This is going to be .md. So otherwise, it. Okay, so introduce explicit shell mode and clarify manual invocation behavior. Yeah. Okay, so summary in the desktop app, We currently have visible build and plan modes, while shell mode exists but is not present as an explicit first class mode in the same way. I'd like to start a design conversation about adding a dedicated shell mode in desktop. I have an image mockup showing how this could look in the mode selector. Why? Shell is already a valid interaction mode, but is less discoverable in desktop than build plan. What the hell is build plan? Okay, yeah. Making shell explicit could improve clarity and reduce more confusion for users who run mixed AI plus terminal workflows. Current UX concern. When shell is invoked manually, the shell output tool state is shown collapsed by default. As a developer, I'd like clear feedback on what happened to the manually invoked command, so command execution doesn't feel hidden. Important compatibility, no. The old behavior to invoke shell when it's still expected should remain changed. This proposition is about any explicit. Okay, the sign should share appear as a peer mode beside this and that. How should manually invoked shell commands be surfaced when collapse, back, toast, to expand, align status, etc. Should collapse expand behavior differ between explicit shell mode usage and one-off manual settle invocation? What is the least restrictive way to preserve existing keyword first workflows? Existence criteria, proposal level. Desktop presents shell as an explicit selectable mode. Existing behavior continues well. And manual simplification prevents when the output section are collapsed. Yeah, I like this thing, and let's create an issue. And hopefully, before doing anything, we can get this thing as an issue, because I could open a feature request, but why would I do that if I'm going to get ignored? Wait a minute. Yeah, I need to go to the original REPL infinite loop out of repeated text. Okay, new issue, feature request. Yeah, like that. So have bit oh, wait a minute, I haven't verified anything. So this would be fit desktop introduce explicit shell mode. Why isn't there a template? That's very strange. I thought that there was a template around here. So summary, why this and that. So image, mock image. This is a mockup on. This is an image on how this could look in the mode selector, and wait a minute, fit desktop. I mean, feature desktop introduce shell explicit shell mode. Okay, let's screenshot this thing so that we can have this image, and wait a second. So like that, shell. So now we should be able to paste on the issue page thing where's the image thing, like this. So now when we do preview, we've got this thing. So here you have the plan and the shell. Yeah. So before doing this thing, we're going to, we are going to be good citizens, and we're going to check. Where the hell is this? We're going to check OpenCode issues, and we're going to search for explicit shell mode or something like that. Default OpenCode corrupts this and that. Shell mode. This is similar. Minimax agent. Oh, PTY. Allow the user to run. That's interesting. Allow the user to run their favorite shell. You could actually run bash, isn't it? Plan mode agent executes shell prides. Bash tool not gated. Shell session losing path value from parent shell. At YOLO. Mode fallback in specific. Okay, so shell mode output hidden when this and that. Wait a second. When tools details visibility is set to false via the hide tools details command or tool details, user initiated shell commands via an admiration mark mode are hidden after the execution. The command output appears briefly, fraction of a second. The same flickering behavior occurs for AI invoke tool calls. They flash on the screen by running and then vanish. So he wants that the user initiate shell commands should always be visible regardless of the tool's details tool. The user explicitly ran the command and expects to see its output. Yeah. When tools details are hidden, AI invoke tools should never appear at all, not even briefly by running. The current flicker is hidden by this. Let's write this down here. So where the hell I am creating this thing? So somewhere. So I agree on this other issue. And we're going to copy 227. Where the hell is this? Here it is. So let's edit this thing so that edit. Let's open this thing into a new. What the hell have I done here? User initiated shell commands, this and that. Okay. Because what I actually want to be doing is that it's first. So this one I have already done it. No interactive command support. I actually wanted to have a shell that you can run again and again, but I don't think that's supposed to be working like that. Allow the user to run their favorite shell in OpenCode. Yeah, I thought we already did that. If you read the shell variable, doesn't it? Not quite by the mouse, the demo. Whoops, yeah, it was interactive mode. I added interactive after edit, so my fault. Feature request password for interactive process input. So the password's oh. Yeah, I mean this guy should have maybe open a new issue because this is standard in password is not the right thing. Shell sessions losing path, this and that. Propose this and that. Text in 2025. Is this not plan? Any progress? I can confirm this bug. Confirm workaround works for me. And 60 days of no activity, so we close it, and yeah, and that's we need. So apparently, yeah, it's live. Hey, it's live. Surabh Sharma. That's from India, maybe, or Philippines. I don't know. So, as I haven't found anything regarding shell mode, shell mode doesn't respond to backspace, plan mode, agent. Let's read around here. Coordination shell plus fork mode. What the hell is this? Persistent shell mode. Yeah, that's something. Let me see. Coordination shell plus fork mode. As we explore more and more sub-agents usage, I think what I'm proposing is separative natural evolution. Let me start with currently each OpenCode session is very much sequential. This and that. Fork by default. The main, so you've got the coordination action and sub-agents. That's nice, that's cool, but I want to focus on shell. And that's why, you know, I have, that's why I'm trying to do this thing. And yeah, let's create this thing, hopefully. It's very strange. Maybe the one that has pull request template is a pull request. Yeah, that's it. There's no feature. Yeah, let's do this thing and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes, but I should have read the contribution guidelines because sometimes you get to, yeah, debugger, this and that, persistent shell mode. Okay, so do you have any idea? Do you want me to do something to OpenCode that you might want to have? Because So let's push our current work, which is in here. So right now we have these fit desktop add shell mode to desktop prompt modes as a first class prompt mode, and I'm going to just push this thing to my GitHub account so that it's in here, even if I'm not going to create a pull request for now, because I want to just get on the vibe and start a conversation regarding how the design should be working. And you know, I also want the shell mode uncollapsed thing. So I think I'm just going to add it. So let's ask this thing in here. So plan. So let me ask you. I would like that shell sections in the UI appear uncollapsed by default if they have been run from the shell mode. They should be shown collapsed if run by the model as it happens right now. Commit your changes. And we're going to see what the hell does this in here. And I'm probably going to create a new branch to take a look to deal with this, which is going to be desktop shell mode expanded version. Let's say version 2, so that we know that it's different than the first one. And let's do this thing. So what we actually want is that when you start the shell mode, either with this or with this thing, you know, we cancel this thing and we are here, and I use exclamation mark and I enter the shell command. Wait a second. What has happened here? Cancel like this, and I cancel and everything collapse. No, I'm not sure what happened there. So what we actually want is that when, look at that, so I'm in shell mode and I hit the start again, and yes, it flickers and it collapses the thing, and we don't want to collapse that. And hopefully OpenCode knows how to prove it, thanks to GPT-5.3 Codex free account, by the way. I updated the timeline rendering so shell tools parts default expanded only for turn generated in shell mode, while non-shell turns skip the state existing behavior. Change packages this thing to detect whether the assistant run is shell mode. Updated this thing to this and that. Commit this and that. Let's take a look at the changes, because yeah, I'm not sure. Wait a minute. It said something like it was changing. Okay, it changes the same file twice. So let's take a look at what it does exactly. Here it is. So shell mode turn, create memo. So shell mode turn, I guess that it's a shell tool default mode. So I guess this is like a boolean variable that it's saving some message mode shell system message. So in any case, let's ignore all of this code and let's close this development thing. Hopefully it saves some of this history somewhere. And now I should be able to go here into the distro box so that I can run this thing again with these changes, and hopefully this is going to you know, to run as expected. That's what we actually want to be doing. And yeah, oh, yeah, yay, yay, yay. Let's see how this goes. It's a bit concerning that it takes too long to load, but anyway, yeah. So have we managed to break it? No. Starts loading. Hopefully. Okay, so again we have this thing that we don't have the later session thing, whatever the reason is. So now we have build plan and so on, and shell, and now I'm going to hit the status, and it's being collapsed. Yeah, so let's complain and fix it. I still see the shell section as collapsed as running the command. It's running the shell from the desktop UI. Running the shell command manually from the desktop UI. I should have said please fix it, you know what I mean? So abruptly after Surav Sharma has asked if it was live and I have replied, this has jumped up to 5 users, 5 viewers. That's nice. So hopefully, I mean, I haven't asked it to fix it and commit it, but we will see how this goes. But for now, as you can see, everything is collapsed, and we want this to be non-collapsed, less, because you know the change that the LLM has done. Where the hell is this? So the change that the LLM has done, this does not depend on shell mode turn shell default open, shell tool default open. This no longer depends on shell mode turn, but it also depends on shell tool default open. So unless the logic is backwards, shell mode turn, yeah, system message mode shell. I'm not sure this is going to be working as expected. Let me see. Good catch, you were right. I updated the logic so shell tool sections auto expand specifically for manual shell turn. That's what the hell we were asking the first time. While keeping model invoke shell collapse by default unless the model assistant setting is enabled. What change is this and that? And so let me see what it has changed. Now we have manual shell turn thing. Wait a minute. Shell mode turn. Okay. Prop shell tool default open. Doesn't the shell mode turn variable that you have? So isn't the shell mode turn variable that you have added initially shouldn't you remove the shell mode turn variable that you added initially? What is useful for our initial request build? Let's see what it says. Shouldn't you remove the shell mode variable that you added initially? What is useful for original request? And let's see how this goes. So it's patching and it's going to commit because it's reading. Okay, yes, you're absolutely right. Shell mode turn is not useful for your stated behavior and could be misleading here. In practice, those small shell responses are identified by the user executed to market note this thing. I remove it, this and that, and that. Okay, let's see what the hell does this thing do. It hasn't commit the changes, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so where the hell are you? Commit your changes. And now if I'm not mistaken, now we should have like 3 commits. One, two, three. Yeah, so I'm going to say squash the latest 3 commits while keeping the description equal, keeping the commit message and commit description equal to the first commit, the oldest one. Let's see how this is doing this thing, because show latest 3 messages with full messages and so on, this and that. How does it know? Oh my god, terminated. Let's try again. Maybe we should like revert shell. Wait a minute, now it has done it. Just real quick. And yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens. So now hit lock should only have one of these commits. That's right. And if we are to show that commit, we can see manual shell turn, some pod types text, this and that. The following tool was executed by the user. What the hell? Oh, it will see how this goes, because I'm not sure this is the right way of doing this thing. So again, this is our dev OpenCode. Let's close it, and let's go to DistroBox so that we can run OpenCode with our change, and let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Probably I have this error regarding too many files opened, but I don't think this is going to end up with problems. So this OpenCode is being opened, and apparently, well, look at this. It's suspended by default. Let me open a new session. Let's use the shell mode to run hit status. Now it's showing in uncollapsed, and now I'm going to say run hit status, and it should run hit status without being like that. I should be clicking here to this, to having this thing. So it works as expected. But the thing that I do not like is this thing regarding where the hell are you? This thing regarding path.text, the following tool was executed by the user. Let's go here and ask it. Can you please explain why the code needs just an explicit check as this thing here, as being equal to the string? Isn't there anything better that does not depend on an English translation, or that it does not depend on isn't there anything better that does not depend on an English translation? Isn't there an alternative implementation? Can you come up with an alternative implementation that does not depend on an English translation or on a verbatim string altogether? Altogether, I think I'm writing this right. Validated metadata implementation, yeah. Hopefully this is reading this thing here. So I'm going to have a branch with my own changes, and Great question. You're absolutely right to change that check. That exact string check, the following tool was executed by the user, was a brittle shortcut. It couples UI behavior to English text. It breaks if worked in changes. This and that. Metadatabase implementation. What I change is this prompt. Now it's changing another file. The syntactic user text path created for manual shell execution now includes OpenCode origin manual shell invocation. In packages UI src component session turn.tsx detection now checks that meta flag. So UI behavior is now driven by a stable machine readable market not by translated verbatim text. Okay, yeah, this applies to new, currently manual shell turns. Older timeline entries that were created before this change won't have the metadata flag. Wait a minute. Older timeline entries that were created before this change won't have the metadata flag. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So, okay, let me check. I think that it has not, so commit your changes. Where the hell are you? Commit your changes. This and that. Let's revert to this thing like build, and it's going to work as expected because now we are in build mode. So we have like squash the latest two commits while keeping the commit message, commit description equal to the first commit, the oldest one. So let's challenge this thing, because right now when this has been done, manual shell invocation. Manual shell invocation. Okay, so your latest change, this and that. I need to build my own version so that I can fork from wherever I want to, because otherwise this is yeah, this is concerning. So do we have like duplicate the session? No, we don't have duplicate session. I mean, we have the fork one that we have implemented. Great question. So again, what the hell are we? Where are we doing? Yeah. So reread latest commit change. I want to explore more in depth the project. so that you can find uh, an alternative way of knowing if a command has been if a message has been invoked manually in comparison to the message being invoked by the model itself. If a message, if a shell message compared to the shell message being where the hell is this? Hit show head again. Package OpenCode SRC session prompt yes. Where the hell? In other words, your current change to this file seems an overshoot. I want you to explore if you find out an alternative way. Please commit, please implement it, and commit your changes. Let's see what the hell does OpenCode do in its own source code. The thing is, I don't want to read it myself, so let's do this thing. Read callout. You're right. Oh my god, I mean, you have to iterate a lot for anything being useful in here. You know what I mean? So read callout. You're right that writing a new backend metadata market in packages OpenCode SRC prompt TS was heavier than necessary. I reworked this to use existing session data instead, with no backend schema behavior changes. A turn is treated as manual cert invocation when the parent user message contains only synthetic parts, and the assistant response for that turn includes a bash tool part that distinguish manual shell turns. Why did I change? Remove backend market, right? I don't know, commit. It hasn't done that, isn't it? So if I hit diff, I should see. Okay, let me see. Metadata. Go ahead. I mean, it hasn't committed and changing anything. Planning, inspections, and edits. I hate how, patch. Okay, now we have a patch in the, what was the file? Prompt ds. So it's package OpenCode prompt. So it's removing the line that we have added. That's nice. And in the here, let's see what's the new implementation. Users patch length 0, synthetic. Part tool. List status toolpath, isn't that? Then come and replacement. The thing is that I don't know if this works as expected or not. But now we are sure that we have the changes in here. So let me just close this thing for now, and let's go in here, and where the hell is this box? Let's go in lister box, and let's run the desktop again with this change implemented. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, look at that. Are we going to be able to test this thing properly in here? I'm not sure about that. Okay, this has opened in the other desktop, so okay, so now apparently we have this thing. So shell, let's run this, let's check. So here it's expanded, and now if I tell the model run hit the status, okay, wait a minute, run hit the status, this is not right. We have to talk to this thing, because what your latest change has done has an unintended consequence. When the model runs a shell, unless this is not running a shell, so run hit status 2, shell attempts to run hit the status command. Damn it, I have to click on this. Run hit the status 3. So apparently if attempts to run hit the status 3 command, yeah, and if I run here in shell mode hit the status 4, it shows it right away. So apparently if I ask this thing to run hit the status, it just ignores me, and now yes, now it works. But here I have hit the status, and it has hallucinated it instead of just running it, so it was just one thing off. So okay, so commit your latest changes. Let's squash this thing. Hit lock. Yeah, so it's again the same thing like squash the latest 2 commits and use the first commit one. But even then, I'm not sure I like this thing. The full shell tools. So I'm going to add a new session. Yeah, and I'm going to ask explore how the desktop interface knows if a message is coming from a user interaction if a message shell mode message is come from a user interaction or from a model request. We actually want a prompt that explains an LLM where to find a specific method function that shows with ease how to distinguish both requests types or at least a draft of such a method function. So let's plan this thing and let's hope this is much better than what we have done, because currently what we have in here in the this thing, so we have managed to only have one commit, but if you take a look at the change, it's like manuals shall turn this and that. If this is synthetic, this and that, and maybe I should have said ignore this thing here, but we will see how this works. Props show to default open session turn. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me see. So let's search for this, and then once we have it, we will maybe yeah, do something else. So give me 5 minutes. Okay, so let's see what this says. Draft helper classify type origin shell, user interaction model to requested noun, export function classify shell origin, message type assistant tool name this and that. If input message shall return user shell interaction, if message type system bash return a noun. Input tool name bash. Oh my god. It's like I have to read the source code myself to know what's going on in here. Because right now I'm not reading the source code, so okay. Not sure when I will be back. Okay, so I don't know what to do with this thing. If you want next, I can give you as a stricter production ready classifier for the exact message types used in this repo, legacy plus session next, with concrete type guards. Input message type shall return user interaction. Let me check how's this shown. I mean, this is shown the same thing, isn't it? Let me double check around here. Basic tool info main. Basic tool tool trigger. So tool trigger. So this is the one that it's from the model. In the what about the one on the top? Where the hell is this? What about the one on the top? Here it is, the one on the top. Message session turn. Wait a minute, data component session turn. Yeah, and how session turn? Look at that. Session turn. Okay, so I have inspected what OpenCode Desktop actually shows when a message is shown. So if it comes from a model, it says it says something which I don't remember anymore. Where the hell is this? It says wait. Session turn assistant content. Now where the hell are you? Says so I haven't been able to copy this thing properly apparently. Let's Control C. Hopefully it likes it. When it comes from a user, it says so where the hell is the user? Comes from a user, it says session turn. Session turn and session turn. Wait, It's the same thing? No, it's just session turn, isn't it? Session turn content. Session turn assistant content. Data slot. Okay, so data slot has this thing, and when it comes from a user, it's data slot. I'm not sure. Session turn message container. I'm not sure this is going to be useful. And is this data slot? Yeah. So are we missing something? Session turn message content. Yeah, I don't know if this is useful. Data slot has can it help you to design a simple approach? Yeah, hopefully that's good enough for what we want to be doing. A minimal classifier can just map data slots, this and that model, user message container. A minimal classifier can just map the two values directly. Session turn, one important, this is UI. Yeah, yeah, well, what I actually want is that you check both strings. Let's copy both strings. Both strings in here. Both strings. And in the code base, and that you learn how it decides from either a user or a model, so that we can have a more abstract way of choosing of knowing if the message comes from one place, comes from the user or not. And hopefully this will be good enough. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, look at that. This goes big and smaller and so on. I didn't see that before. Egg searches, exploring 9 reds, 8 searches. Perfect. I traced those 2 data slot values in the code base, and here's the key finding. Session turn message container and session turn assistant content are rendered together inside a turn component, not as mutually exclusive alternatives. The turn is anchored by a user message, and assistant content is attached to that turn via parent ID, where this decision happens. Message index only accepts message where message role user, and the message returns only that user message. Renders this from the user turn root, and this and that assistant message session turn. Is this related to what we were doing before? Shell mode. What's the manual shell turn? Okay. So I think that somehow we are fine. Look at that. Assistant messages collect role assistant with parent ID, user message ID. OpenCode session turn renders session turn assistant content if assistant children exist. Timeline fits session turn with rendered user message only. User messages explicitly filtered by role user. So the abstract rule is user origin turn. The message role has user moderate user role system. Parent input it to user message. Okay. Yes. Draft a final LLM prompt on where to find those functions, but do not yes, draft the final LLM prompt. Fine, explain. Okay, this is not what I wanted, but okay. Let me write this down. Trying to improve the current approach with a more elegant one based on the tips seen below. The tips are going to say in render UI we observe this and that. this. Inspect these files, what to extract. And strained preferred. Treat data slot is, yeah. Hopefully this is good enough for this thing to work out a better way of doing this thing, because right now it's not doing this right, and I just want, yeah, so basically it knows that if the role is user, it should just expand it, and that's it. Hopefully that's good enough for the shell part. Yeah, hopefully that's the right thing to do in here. Expecting role filters. I mean, yeah. So once again, what we are seeing here is that this is using the pods thing. It's not using the role user, and maybe you cannot do it. I don't know. Nice prompt. I dug through 3 files and aligned the nice prompt. Are you kidding me? So it seems like he knew that this was a nice prompt. I dug through 3 files and aligned detection with semantic model rather than UI slots, where the code base already tells us this and that. Role user, item rules on user, while slot base, this and that, refactor this into clear factors, party syntactic passive bash tools. So behavior is still semantic first, but not dependency on English text or slot strings. Commit this refactor, please. I want to see what the hell does it do once this is refactored. Okay, so part is synthetic. Part type is tool. What? Why would you do this? Get manual shell detection semantic. User turn has only syntactic user pods. Resistant chiller for Dart user turn include the bash tool pod. So yeah. Role is so can we be using or a similar check? Can yes, and we already rule, but role user alone is not enough. Mrole user identifies the parent turn container. You still need to distinguish normal user prompts that the model answers with tool calls versus manual shell invocations. The reverse combination. Parent is a user message, assistant children link by this and that. So that's why the current approach uses role parent spot semantics together instead of single. It's not using role at all, I think. Okay, I don't think it's doing that at all. Session turn. Sure, I want to. What's the show chat? Damn it. Number one tool. It's not doing that. Can you please pinpoint where it's exactly checking the role semantic? Yep. I mean, where the role semantic is being checked in order to check in your latest two comments in order to enable the shell message from model to be left as is, and shell messages from model, it's not model, from user being uncollapsed. Yeah, and as I say, the second, these are two different comments for trying to do this thing properly. So now I wonder if the original one was good enough and we are overshooting or whatever. But now I don't have the original ones. Great clarification. In those last comments, the role semantic is checked indirectly through existing session turn data flow, not with explicit role inside manual shell turn. The exact change used by the new logic is message only resolves if current turn is a user message. Okay. Parts is derived from that message. In manual share, I always for the user turn. A system message only collects a system message attached to that user turn. Then your committed logic checks. User turn is synthetic only. And attach a system contains bash tool. So the role boundary is enforced by a message plus a system message construction. The manual shell turn operates. Yeah, that's why modeling bulk shell tools calls remains as is, unless they match the syntactic user turn plus a system bash child pattern. Explain to me this as I'm a toddler, because I mean, I don't understand what's going on in here. Return synthetic import tool bash. Part is synthetic. If it's not synthetic, we return false. Manual shell turn. If user parts, every part is synthetic. If not every part is synthetic, then it's false. I'm going to open the file because otherwise I prefer to understand what's going on here. So packages, this and that, and it's 107. 107. Okay. Pod state. This is not it. Yeah, this is it. So these are the two. Pod is synthetic. Pod is bash tool. Return synthetic in pod and pod synthetic. Maybe with returning synthetic is good enough, but this is have a script and that works in such strange ways. And so 317 70. So 370 manual shell turn. So manual shell turn. So this is the new function that we have in here. Let's do it like that. So this is a new function, and which is based on whatever, and then what we have changed here is the shell tool default open. It depends on shell tool default open first, but also a manual shell turn, so that it's always open. Assistant parts, messages, session turn, assistant content. Wait a minute, look at that. That's what I found out while exploring the thing, now that I think about it. So somehow we are already in the... Wait a minute. We are already in the right place? So what I found out is that... Where's my prompt? What I found out in my distinguish message, like that. Session turn assistant content, which is from the model, and session turn message container. And what we are seeing here is show when a system messages length greater than 0. What we are seeing here is session turn assistant content, which is originated from the model. What? Wait a moment. This is not right. So these changes from here should only affect the model once, but somehow they affect the user once, and that's very strange if you ask me. So what I understand from here is that the session turn message container, all like that, it's in here. Show a message. This is the session turn message container thing, which I guess it's not in here.
session turn. So somehow putting here some stuff seems to shell the tool default open. Yeah. I don't understand this. Why? I should be checking session turn assistant content for so this is the one I ran manually. So this should have session turn content, and inside of it we have the session turn message container. So message container. So message container, which is this one here. So I guess that inside of this we should also find out the session turn. Oh, wait a minute, look at this. Session turn message content, which seems like to be empty. So apparently this is always being printed even if it's not being used. And here's the session turn assistant content. Assistant content, which is what we modify. Session turn assistant content. Session turn assistant content. Session turn assistant content. Which is assistant content doesn't matter if it's from one place or the other, I guess. So what happens with this one here? So if we go here, this is from bash output. We cannot say that this is bash output. So tool trigger, basic tool trigger, collapsible. This is not it. Okay, so collapsible, bash output, bash copy, tool trigger, copy. Bash scroll. I wonder if that's the right way of doing this. Like, SBT. Because I'm not seeing. Okay, here it is. Session turn assistant content, which is session turn assistant content, session turn assistant content. So you've got the session turn assistant content, so it's the same thing. That's why this insists in using the bash tool and so on instead of whatever. I think that system messages show when a system messages show assistant copy path ID. Yeah, I think maybe one of the first implementation was working with this, and that like have a system message come to the system messages, some message system messages, create memo. If item role system and this push system empty system equals same, interrupted, create memo. I think this create memo is just a function that it's always creates set. Pending user, pending message. Yeah, all the function is create memo, so I think it's how you're supposed to be doing this. This might be some like what was the name? Lambda function thing, something similar. Message index, role user, message index. If the message is not from a user, then we don't index it. I see. So message role user. Yeah. So messages show assistant copy path ID, turn working, show reasoning, shell to default open, edit to default open, show when thinking, show thinking. I hit them working. Message system messages. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Okay, so what about what about extending or cloning method from that same file? What's the file name? From the session, is the session tsx the one? Session turn. Yeah, so from session turn, so that we do not have to infer based on bash tools or whatever. I mean, we could have assistant, we could have a user assistant messages and the model assistant messages, and that way we could show them in the same file with maybe different colors or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to do this. Okay, so what does it say? Yes, the direction makes sense, and you can do it without UI slot inference. I would avoid cloning assistant message into two nearly identical memos. Better keep one collector than classify ones. Recommended shape: keep assistant messages as source, list, role assistant parent ID, user ID, and then add a new derived memo like assistant message by origin the results that returns model the same system message for normal model flow, and user triggered assistant message produced by user triggers shell flow.
Render both groups in session_turn.tsx with different wrappers classes for color layout variants. Why this is clear, one place, this and that. In current flow and the V1 today is inferred, so total remove of inference is hard unless buckets adds explicit origin metadata. Best long-term abstraction, short-term, classify in UI with a dedicated helper, centralized heuristic. Medium term, add explicit origin metadata the message part creation. Then the UI consumes that directly. Third, manual short term as a fallback until all sessions have metadata. If you want, I can prepare an implementation plan with exact function signatures and the minimum backend field to add, so this becomes non-heuristics. Backend metadata first, cleaner, more durable. The thing is that apparently a system messages, they cannot know if they come from a user or not, so okay, let's go for UI only classification. Let's implement your best long-term abstraction plan. Let's see how this goes. Implement your best long. So, oh my god, look at that. We have a plan. 1, 2, 3, 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, add explicit origin metadata for user trigger shell tools, bounce backend session prompt flow. Regenerate, update SDK types if needed, and adapt UI type usage. Refactor session turn into derived user assistant message, model assistant message from explicit metadata with fallback. Apply distinct styling hooks for user triggered versions, model triggered assistant content. Run targeted type text steps for modify packages. Okay, styling hooks. You can ignore. Make it easy for the apply distinct styling hooks for user triggered versions, model triggered assistant content. To be removed in the near future. I'm not sure if this is going to be sent right now or it's going to be queued. So for now it's doing this to-do thing, I think. Wait, look at that. I mean, maybe if we do like that, we can see, yes, that direction, this and that. Okay, there's verification failed. This and that, make it easy. Run type check, this and that. Will it run this thing? So done. I simplify the styling hook so it's easier to remove later while keeping the long-term merging abstraction in place. I reduce the styling surface to a single attribute. Contains user trigger shell only when the user triggers the system. This replaces multiple count-based attributes, so rollback is tiny. So styling now hangs off one selector. Semantic origin abstraction remains. Part is user trigger shell. And group and backend now emits explicit origin metadata for manual shell turns. Adds origin user trigger shell on the shell tool pod metadata running plus completed, which avoids relying on bash tool inference alone. Verify the ban is not available. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. What does hit the status do? Nothing. So let me ask commit your changes, and I'm going to squash them manually because otherwise I don't want to lose what we had before. I don't know. I mean, maybe we should be working with work trees or something, or maybe not work trees but different branches. And yeah, message fit terminated. What's going on here? Hit status. Hit show head. Tag user trigger shell system content origin. So like that. Metadata. Now we have an origin user trigger shell. Session turn. Part is user trigger shell. System messages by origin. If user register length return true. If user session turn system content. Maybe the message that said user that it was this is generated by the user. Maybe we had that the slot session turn system content that the assistant user assistant length contains user undefined this and that. Wait a minute. Content user return. Data system origin user system message contains user trigger shell undefined 413 of session turn. Let me check this out. 413. 437 contains user. So this is where we were before. So if user and system messages is greater than 0, then this means that it contains user trigger shell. Are we sure that this is the right way of doing this? Okay, are we sure
the right way of knowing if this is and well, that part is inside a that part is inside this thing is inside this thing, isn't it? It's non-knitted, isn't it? Let's see what the hell does it this does, because component. Great catch. You are right to question it. It's the correct condition for, because that flag is about that subset of assistant messages. User triggered show once, not about assistants in general. User assistance message length. So when only warranted there's not one assistant, not vendor check the clear so it's easier to remove later. Oh my god, this is having some context rot. Added has user trigger shell assistant memo in session turn. Reuse for this and that. Yes, commit it onto a separate tiny commit. I don't know how this is going to work, if you ask me. Session turn, extract user, the system flag. User assistant messages length greater than 0. Return true. Data assistant origin. Okay, shouldn't the what's the where the hell is this thing? Shouldn't the method just be the return of and nothing more? Shouldn't the manual shell turn method just be the return of has user triggered? Okay, let me see. Short answer, not yet, unless you're okay dropping backward. Okay, I see. Only works when parts carry the new metadata. Okay, I see what's going on here. It's the old stuff, so this needs to be here for all the old stuff. I mean, wait a moment.
I mean, removal is one line. Default open behavior. Yeah. Yes. Let's drop backward compatibility. Compatibility instead of or not. Yeah, because otherwise this is getting the okay, yep, done. So it should path is synthetic. It's no longer that. Path is tool. Has triggered isn't that. This means manual shell turn detection is full metadata driven. Okay, let me just play a bit with it and see what's going on here, because I want this to be working much better than it is. So we are in shell, aren't we? We are in here, expanded 2. So we have all of these commits, and we have this shell mode thing that we are going to branch out, and this is going to be, let's check out the branch, feature desktop shell mode expanded version 3. That's it. And I'm going to cherry pick expanded version 3, expanded version 3, expanded version 3, and expanded version 3. Now I'm going to rebase the latest 4 commits because I say so. Wait a second, what the hell is this? Haven't I commit this thing yet? Damn it, where the hell are we? Expanded version 2. Didn't want to do this. I just want to hit lock factor UI. I'm going to say that this is number 2, even if it's not number 2, and that's it. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So now we can rebase like 6 commits, not exactly 6, but yeah. Add shell mode to desktop prompt, and then this is the one. So let's squash all of this, because I want to see bash this and that like this, and now I can show the latest commit. User triggered shell. Okay, user triggered shell, data slot. Path is bash tool. Path is user trigger shell. So that's needed by, this is needed from here, constant assist message by origin. User assistant messages, user length. Okay, manual show this and that, and yeah. Let's rename this thing properly. So reread last commit. I have just rebased and squashed. I want you to rename manual. Wait a minute. Let's do it ourselves. Where the hell is this? Session turn, whatever, isn't it? So manual shall turn. This is going to be user shall turn. Manual is user. That's it. So let's commit this into the latest one. That's it. Hit diff. That's it. And like this. Amend. This and that. And well, we still have to test this thing because yeah. So let's close this thing for now. And now we can go to DistroBox and try to run developing version of the desktop and see if it works, because I am not so sure. So this is backward compatible, but it might not be. And if I'm not mistaken, we have some different colors for this and that, which is something that like in here, I think it's this one here, this CSS. This is the one that CSS, we don't want to have that, but we will see if it shows. Okay, now it's opening. We will see if it shows this thing properly or not. Look at this now, nice mouse. Wait a minute. Oh, this is a different mouse rather than my mouse, because so if you take a look at I cannot show you. You take a look. Okay, now it damn it. 1 second, please. Look at the mouse and look at the mouse on the top. This is because this is the host system and this is DistroBox thing. Yeah. And so this development. Okay, so development, new session. Yeah, why not? And explore, hit status like a shell. Look at that, it's like orange. And now I'm going to say run hit status. It's going to be built. Look at that, invalid prompt. The messages do not match the model message schema. Why do I have this problem? After the last change, please reread the latest change. I am getting is there anything special that I need to run before testing the changes, thanks to run dev desktop? Is it like that, the command that I use? Let me double check. Run dev desktop. Yeah. Run dev desktop.
Is there anything special, or have we messed up something? Yeah, okay. Exploring 2 searches. 3 searches. 4 searches. Going to open the email, by the way, and see if there are any new emails. Hopefully it opens in the other screen, but we will see. Yes, it opens in the other screen. The link works for me. Wait, what? Look at that. I have got an answer to one of my issues. And yeah, that's interesting. Let's search all of the Adrian 15. How the hell did you do this? So, issues, this, Adrian 15. Let me see. The voucher list is maintained in here. The link is 404. Wait a minute. Contributing. Vouch. The project uses vouch. GitHub vouch. The link. The vouch link. Vouch list. Where the hell is this? The link works for me. Yeah, the link works for me. Sorry, maybe I wasn't concise enough. I meant the link to, I meant the I meant that the file is not found in the repo. Vendor data is not found in the repo. Sorry, maybe I wasn't concise. I meant that it's not found in the repo. And if you go here, yeah, we have already checked in the development issue. So where are you? Sorry, I meant that it is not found. So the link to it ends up in a 404. So 8 hours ago. Okay, Ariane Amori. Geeky girl, Canadian OpenCode cheerleader. Okay, so she's a cheerleader. Interesting. Okay, so hopefully she can take a look at this and yeah. Okay, so we were trying to work out this thing about right to flag it with it likely introduce this. I have added this thing. That method is for later for what is provide a cool method that during model message conversation which can break model message validation and trigger. I've now fixed it. Remove the top level part metadata right in this thing. Kept origin tagging only in part state metadata, which your UI classify reads, which is safer and pipeline, this and that. Yes. Hopefully. Yes, committed. Shell. Shows working tree short status. Commit. Okay. Let's close this thing and let's try to open it again, and we will deal with the new commits later on. Here it is, and let's run this thing. Let's see how this works. Okay, so here we are again, and we're going to get a new session. So I'm going to first run hit status, which might not might work, and then I'm going to say run hit status. The usage limit has been reached. What? Yeah, I mean, I have been I mean, it is going to be going on in what's the name, in exponential way of doing the stuff. Usage limit has been reached. Oh, look at that, it's retrying. So I don't know how this is being done exactly. This is the first time I reached the usage limit in the APIs. So I'm not sure how to deal with this exactly. So we're going to use Google Gemini Think. So probably it's like going up and up, and that's interesting. So maybe here if I refresh, because this is using you know, this is using ChatGPT also, so let me check if this is if we have anything useful in here. So I'm going to going to say, how do I check usage limits in chat in OpenAI API?
And if this fails because of usage limit, it means that both of them are connected, but right now they are not connected. You can check your OpenAI API usage limits and current consumption from the OpenAI platform dashboard. Usage dashboard. Open the API usage page, which is in here. Then you can see this and that. Rate limits and quotas. Let's open this thing and see what's going on here. Okay, the thing is that I'm not sure which password do I have, or do I? Yes, I know it properly. So let me. Okay, so again we have here total token 0, total spent, Codex. So this is 1 month ago. We haven't expanded anything because this is not what create chat. Agent builder, usage, API, ChatGPT apps. No. Add credits. No. That's not what I want to be doing. So let's go back here. So what about quotas for Codex? And look at that. Attempt number 7. 256 seconds. So this goes and on till this has been, because you never know which is the usage limit, so you keep going on and on. And let me see. What does ChatGPT say here? Codex Web UI, Codex Analytics. Oh my God! So we've got another URL which is going to ask me for my password. Oh, look at that. Codex. Your GitHub account is not connected. Connect now. No, I don't want to do that. You're out of contact messages. A great blast to keep going. Your limit will result in May 16. Wait a minute. What the hell is this? This is like 7 days? Sort of 7 days. Balance. Codex uses draw from your shared agentic usage limit. Codex share with other agentic features. This currently includes Codex and ChatGPT for Excel. Usage. Look at that. So this is from yesterday and this is from today. And the thing is that if I could fork, this could be working better than what we have right now. So yeah, that's interesting. So what I'm supposed to be doing right now? Should I change to? Yeah, how do I stop this thing working on in here? Stop. Yeah, there's no point. We have to wait for 1 week. There's no point of keeping increasing the timeout thing for eternity. So minimax, minimax for free. I mean, yeah. So run hit status. We are probably not going to reach. The bash tool was called with invalid arguments. The working directory. Wait a second. Is this a consequence schema missing key. Okay. So I could change this thing into minimax 2. Now I'm getting a I'm getting this error. And what's the bash tool was called with invalid arguments. Was called with invalid arguments. So now I'm getting this thing here. Let's see if this fixes it or whatever, because yeah, but I mean this is going to take longer to answer, and so my question is, maybe what I want to check is this Codex thing. April 10, April 26. What the hell has happened here? Why do I have so much going on in here? Because I have told, please check the full OpenCode thing. That's why the hell code review. What the hell is this? Number of issues. Yeah, I mean this is the code review when you okay, this makes sense when you connect GitHub account into this. Data controls, connectors, connect to GitHub Slack linear, which has an issue, whatever. Code review, this and that. So you can modify some of these behaviors from the web UI environments. Okay, and general custom instructions. Okay, branch format, Codex feature, usage limit. We say, and this should go to the same page where we were before, the analytics one. Group by day. Do we have group by hour? We don't. This bullshit thing doesn't. So if you have to read a lot of open code, you run out of tokens. Yeah. So I guess we should test this minimax thing and speed up time so that it doesn't take so long. Open code, this and that, shell.ts. I mean, the thing is, right now, we are sending all the fucking history for all of this, and I mean, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I need to be able to fork and so on, so that I don't reach limits, because otherwise it's bullshit. And yeah, we could even create a new account or whatever with a new new email account. We could do the hack where we put dots in the email account, so I think you already know that, but if you have an email account at Gmail, you can send stuff here like email account or Gmail account, and it also goes to the same account. But maybe from OpenAI point of view, yeah, this is the these are different accounts. But I don't want to trick OpenAI. I just want to, you know, just want to do this. So yeah, this is taking a long time, and that's because it's free. And yes, I don't want to pay it. So yeah. So this is, I mean, we can end the stream here maybe, because otherwise this is going to be boring, because it takes ages for this to work. I mean, I could put in here Gemini, which might not be as good as Codex, but maybe Gemini API can be used too. I don't know. But that's why I'm using fork. You know what I mean? So let's yeah, let's end the stream for now. It has been like 3 hours. We are not getting anything else, anything useful from here. So I will keep this running to see how long it takes for this to end. With, I mean, this is weekend and it's a free model. So yeah, let's do this thing. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.